Welcome back. All right, 5 games to talk about from tonight in the National Hockey League as all these trades were going on. So now we're going to review the games. We're going to start things off talking about Philadelphia and Detroit, a game that was kind of slow at parts, but it still got entertaining. So it was Ersson versus Lyon. At 1:06 on their first shot, Philadelphia scores. It's Konechny from Farabee and Couturier. He goes 5-hole on a fast break. So Lyon gets activated from injured reserve, and that's the first shot he has to face. It's not fair. Shots are 2-1 Flyers at 4 minutes. The Wings press at 5 minutes. The Flyers get pinned down a bit, but they're blocking the net really well. Sider has a net feed that's held. Tippett misses one high from the slot. We get a power play for Detroit. Tarasenko's denied. That power play ends up being killed off. 4 shots on net for Detroit during that power play. The Wings go back to the power play, and it's a 4-minute power play. During the second half of the 4-minute power play, Compher scores at 18-19 from Larkin and Raymond, so it's 1-1 after 1. Second period, Kane's denied from the slot. The Wings press at 3 minutes. There's a near miss for Detroit. The Flyers get pinned down a bit. Teams then trade rushes. Tippett has a net feed that's picked off. No shots for Philadelphia 6.5 minutes into the period. Edvinsson, at this point, they announced that he got hurt, I believe, in the first period and exits, and they announced he would not return to the game. There's a press by Philly at 9.5 minutes, but on a 3-on-2 rush at 10:15, DeBrincat scores. Kane with the assist. Detroit has their first lead of the game at 2-1. It does not last. While they're announcing that goal at 10:40, Cates has one go in off his ankle. Forrester and Sealer with the assists. That makes it 2-2. We're a little over halfway through the game. The Flyers press with 7.5 minutes left. Kane has a net drive chance that's held. And then on a resulting face-off at 16:05, Rasmussen scores. Compher with the assist there. Then at 17:27 on a 3-on-0, and the announcer said it was 2-on-0, but if you look, there's the third Red Wing right there. Veleno scores from Fisher. No chance for Ersson on that one. The Flyers press to respond, but after 2 periods of play, the score is 4-2 in favor of the Detroit Red Wings. Third period, the Flyers press at 1.5 minutes. Sanheim has a net feed that's blocked at 3:50. It's Paling on a tip from the doorstep. Couturier and Sanheim with the assists. Makes it 4-3. And then at 5:39 on a rush, Tippett buries one to tie it. Lawton and Drysdale with the assists, so we have a 4-4 draw. The shots are 3-2 for the Flyers at 7 minutes. At 7:21 on the rush as well, Kane answers. Sider with the assist. That is the first goal for Patrick Kane in his last 11 games. Farabee can't bury one in close. The Flyers press with 8.5 minutes left. There's too many Flyers on the ice, but it's not called. The funny part to me was Olczyk going, they had 7 guys on the ice. Well, yes, they had 6 skaters and the goaltender. That's the definition of too many men on the ice. It's just the way he said it. I thought it was kind of funny. The Flyers get a power play not long after. That's killed off. Philly presses after it's done. Drysdale has a screenshot that's held. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left. The Flyers call a timeout with 1:41 left. Sider takes a puck to the helmet. He was okay. He just had to leave for that shift. He would come back on. And the empty netter, it's Raymond from Larkin at 18:48. That takes away any tension that was left. 6-4 win for Detroit. They go to 13-14-4 with the win. Philadelphia 14-14-4 with the loss. Shots on net, 11-4 Detroit in the first, 7-5 Detroit in the second, 10-6 Philly in the third. Final shots, 24-19 for Detroit. Power plays Philadelphia 0-1, Detroit 1-3. The hits 18-15 for Philly. Ersson saves 18 out of 23. Lyon saves 15 out of 19. So it ended up being a lot more entertaining than it was at certain parts of the game. All right, the other one on this board is Toronto and Dallas. A pretty impressive game here, so let's go through it. It's Wall versus Ottinger. Tavares has a slot shot that's blocked out. Leafs press at 3 minutes. The Stars are blocking the net pretty well. Nylander has a chance that's saved. And then on a fast break, Sam Steele scores at 5:14. Beck and Stankoven with the assists. Dallas has a 1-0 lead. It does not last. At 6:13, Domi roofs one on a net drive. Riley with the assist. So Domi finally gets that first goal, and now the second goal follows. Shots are 3 apiece at 7 minutes. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. The shots are 8-4 for Dallas with 7.5 minutes left. Stars press with 6.5 minutes left. We then get a delay of game call. Dallas goes to the power play. That's killed off. 3 shots on net. 1:58 left. Dallas goes back to the power play. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1 that misfires. Dallas recorded 4 shots on that power play before the period was done. But we go to the second period with the score tied at 1. Early in the second period, Dodonov from a sharp angle on a rush scores at 22 seconds. Ben and Johnston with the assists. It's 2-1 for Dallas. Fans call one. The referee does not. The Stars press at 3 minutes. Nylander has a rush chance that's blocked. Hintz is denied on a fast break. And then on a net drive, Nylander wires one to tie it. Matthews and Marner with the assists at 5:15. And then Robertson just turns around and buries one from the slot at 5:31. I don't think Ottinger knew it was coming. Nyes nearly adds another. We get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. One shot. And then McMahon scores from Robertson at 11:01. He just puts it under the glove of Ottinger. You really need a save there. The Toronto announcers talking a lot about how good that goal was, and all I kept thinking was Ottinger usually would save that one. So that was kind of a tough one. The Leafs nearly add another. Shots are 9-5 for Dallas with 7 minutes left. It's just every time Toronto put the puck at the net, it went in. Domi has a net feed that's picked off. The Leafs press with 2 minutes left. So after 2 periods of play, it is 4-2 for Toronto. To start the third, DeSmith's in the net. There's an early press by Dallas, but the shots are 3-0 Toronto, 2.5 minutes in. Not a lot of whistles early in the period either, which favors Toronto, right? They got the 2-goal lead. Marchment was not on the Dallas bench. The funny thing is that, and I mean funny, not ha-ha, just that Marchment had taken a cross-check, and Craig Simpson made a point of stating that he didn't miss a shift, so he might be acting a little bit with him being hurt. He did not play the third period. He was not acting. I didn't hear an apology. Shots are 5-1 Toronto at 8.5 minutes. Heiskanen's denied and close. The Stars press with 9.5 minutes left, but they're blocked. They're kept to the outside. Dallas then has a 4-on-2 that's broken up. We get a power play for Dallas. That's killed off. One shot on net. The goalie pull happens with 4 minutes left. Things are pushy on a hold by Wall. Johnston has a tip shot that's saved, and then at 17:44, just to make things interesting, Blackwell scores from Dodonov and Heiskanen. However, when they pull the goalie again at 18:17, Nylander hits the empty net from Tavares, and your final score in this one's 5-3 for Toronto. They go to 20-10-2 with the win. With the loss, Dallas 19-12. Like I've said, you never know what you're getting with Dallas from one night to the next. Shots on net, 16-4 Dallas in the first, 9-8 Dallas in the second, 14-7 for Dallas in the third. Final shots 39-19 in favor of Dallas. Power plays, Toronto 0-for-1, Dallas 0-for-4. That power play's hurting them. The hits 25-9 for Toronto. Woll saves 36 out of 39. He was excellent. Ottinger had a rough night, 8 saves on 12 shots, and DeSmith saved all 6 in relief. That being said, let's go ahead and change boards. All right, on to board number 2, and it was Florida and the Minnesota Wild. So it's Bobrovsky versus Fleury. The Panthers have a 3-on-2 that's broken up. They were leading in shots 3-0 3 minutes in. They were not messing around. And at 3:48, Ekblad puts one past a screen blocker side. Jesper Boquist and Samoskevich with the assists. The Wild then press at 5 minutes. Tkachuk is denied as the Panthers get some pressure. The Wild score. There's a goalie interference challenge, and yep, no goal, so that comes off the board. The ref is informed that he sucks for this decision. We get a power play for the Wild. That becomes a 5-on-3. During the 5-on-4 that follows it, Rossi scores, burying one in close. Kaprizov and Boldy with the assists at 16-10. The Wild press for the lead, but then on a rush at 18-14, and Samoskevich gets a goal to go with his assist. Ekblad with the assist on that to go with his goal. Makes it 2-1 for Florida. Things get punchy at the horn. It remains 2-1 after one. Second period, there's an early press by Minnesota. There was a post for Verhaeghe as they get some pressure. Shots are 5-1 Florida at 6 minutes. The Wild press at 6.5 minutes, but they're kept to the outside. The teams trade turnovers. Panthers press at 9.5 minutes. Kaprizov's denied on a rush. Schmidt fires one wide as Florida presses. Barkov scores. They challenge it for offside. Yep, that one comes off the board. So both teams with a goal coming off the board tonight. The Wild press with 6.5 minutes left. Faber fires one wide on a rush, and then Tkachuk goes 5-hole from in close. Barkov and Verhaeghe with the assists at 15-27. There's some punching to celebrate the goal, so there's a penalty on each team, so we have some 4-on-4. Then with 1:41 left, Florida gets a power play, and at 18:53, it is that dastardly Matthew Tkachuk scoring. Verhaeghe and Ekblad with the assists. So that makes it 4-1 for Florida after two periods. And just he put in the loose puck near the net. So third period, there's an early press by Minnesota. Jesper Boquist was down. Some punching followed that. We get a press by the Wild at 3 minutes. Verhaeghe has a wrister that's held. Shots are 3-2 for Florida at 6 minutes. At 11:10, Mikkola with one that goes through Fleury. Lundell and Reinhart with the assists. Shots are 8-4 for the Panthers with 4 minutes left. With 2:58 left, Florida gets a power play. That's killed off. And so they score after it. 19-28, Luostarinen buries a rebound. Rodriguez with the assist. Faber exits for repairs because I think he took a puck up high there. But yeah, your final score is 6-1, so the no mercy magnets on the board. Florida goes to 20-11-2 with the win. Minnesota 28-4. They've been struggling lately. They do have a lot of injuries too, though. Shots on net, 15-8 Minnesota in the first, 15-7 Florida in the second, 11-5 Florida in the third. Florida outshoots Minnesota 34-27. Both teams go 1 for 2 on the power play. The hits, 37-21 Florida. Bobrovsky, 26 saves on 27 shots. Fleury had a rough night, 28 saves on 34 shots. If Gustafson's going to be out for a while, that could be concerning because while Fleury can be a good backup at this point, probably shouldn't be playing a lot of games. Maybe Wallstead gets a look in the next one. All right, speaking of next one, the Vancouver Canucks and the Utah Hockey Club. As you can see, I have goal magnets now for Utah. I only have two of them. Those came with the helmet decals that I got, so I've got a Utah setup now that's not just the hand-me-downs from Arizona. It's Demko versus Vejmelka in this one. Gunther fires one wide from the slot. Miller to Besser, near miss. The only shot on net was Utah's 4.5 minutes in. Carconi has a net drive, that's blocked. Garland has a wrister that's caught and held. Utah with some pressure at 7 minutes. Kerfoot misses one wide on a fast break. Demko holds the next chance by Kerfoot. Utah presses at 9 minutes. The shots are 5-1 for the Utah Hockey Club with 6.5 minutes left. Canucks press with 3 minutes left. Besser has a backhander, that's held. Utah presses in the final minute. It was scoreless after 1. I felt like the Canucks were fortunate it was scoreless after 1. Second period, there's an early press by Utah. Pettersson looks to bank one in off of Milka. He had the idea there. Net feed to Sherwood gets picked off. Shots with 3 apiece at 4 minutes. So much better start for Vancouver than the first. Kesselring has a shot that's blocker to side. Utah draws a power play. That's killed off. Then the Canucks get a turn on the power play, and they score on it. It is Heinen from Hughes at 12:37. He roofs that one from a sharp angle. The Canucks press with 4.5 minutes left, but with 3:56 left, Utah gets a power play. That's killed off. The Lotto line was united late, so that's Besser, Pettersson, and Miller. How can Miller and Pettersson be out on the same line at all? That would go against the whole local narrative. What's going on? Anyways, with 1:21 left, the Canucks get a power play. Miller's denied and close. It's 1-0 Vancouver after 1. Second period, there's a shorthanded chance for Stenlund that saved. Utah does finish the kill, but at 2:45, Joshua just a nice play in close to fool Vejmelka. Bluger and Hughes with the assist. It was a really nice pass by Bluger that set that up. It's 2-0 Vancouver. Sherwood has a net feed that's picked off. Utah presses at 5 minutes, but the shots are only 1 apiece 7 minutes in. Canucks press at 8 minutes, but at 9:02, Demko fails to hold on to a puck, and Keller scores from Schmaltz in close. We get a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. Utah presses with 7 minutes left. The Canucks get pinned down. There's a near miss for Krause. Teams trade turnovers with 4:52 left. Utah gets a power play. It was Myers that went to the box. And I started having flashbacks to 2020 here. At 15:30, Schmaltz scores on that power play. Keller and Cooley with the assists makes it 2-2. We are going to overtime. Utah controlled early. Miller had a near miss on a rebound. Both teams had fantastic chances. Very exciting overtime, which has ended on a rush by Sergachev at 4:47. So Utah with the 2-0 comeback victory. They win 3-2 in overtime. They go to 15-11-5 with the win. The Canucks 16-9-6 with the overtime loss. Shots on net, 9-4 Utah in the first, 10-9 Vancouver in the second, 10 apiece in the third, 3 apiece in the overtime. Utah with the shot that matters. Final shots 31-27 for Utah. Both teams go 1 for 3 on the power play. The hits 33-21 Vancouver. Demko, another good game for Demko. 28 saves on 31 shots. Vejmelka, 25 saves on 27 shots. All right, last game of the night, and it is Winnipeg and Anaheim. I've warned people, and I said today, there are certain teams that are trap teams, and I included Anaheim. So, it's Comrie versus Dostal. Teams trade early turnovers, but the shots are 2-0 Anaheim at 4 minutes. Winnipeg was in a fog to start this. Strong forechecking by Anaheim. Teams trade rushes. We get a power play for Anaheim. That's killed off. The shots are 10-0 Anaheim with 9.5 minutes left. The Jets press with 8.5 minutes left. Comrie was really good, just the Jets were in neutral. They couldn't get anything going. They were talking about how in the last 4 starts for Comrie, they had only generated 6 goals. So I've seen people say, well, they lost Comrie's net, what can you expect? But it's not like the Jets are playing well with Comrie in net. So McTavish fires one wide on a rush with 3:18 left. The Jets get a power play. That's killed off. One shot on net. It's 0-0 after one. Second period, shots are 2-0 Ducks at 3 minutes. Ducks are the better team to start this period. Trouba has a backhand that's held. Strome's denied, and then Vetrano's not. He tips one in. Gudas and Strome with the assists at 4:45. That was the 18th shot on net for Anaheim. Winnipeg had 4. So anybody who comes in here saying, well, Comrie's the problem. No. The Ducks press for another. The fans call one. The referee does not. The Ducks press at 8.5 minutes. It's all Ducks at this point. Shots are 6-1 Anaheim at the half. The Jets then draw a power play, and they score on it. Velarde buries one from the doorstep. Ehlers and Connor with the assist at 10:24. Ehlers is then denied on a net feed. Nice to see him back in the lineup and playing well. Ducks get a power play. That's killed off. Then with 2:30 left, the Ducks go back to the power play, so Winnipeg kills that one off as well. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Connor's denied as the Jets press. There's more pressure by them at 3 minutes, and eventually on a rush, Scheifele gives them their first lead of the game. Connor with the assist at 4:13, so it's 2-1 for Winnipeg. Jets draw a power play. There's a goal line stand by Dostal during that. That power play is killed off. Minchukov's denied pass to screen. The Jets press at 8 minutes. In fact, the shots are 12-6 Winnipeg with 9 minutes left. Great third period by Winnipeg. Pionk has a screenshot that's held. The Ducks press with 6 minutes left. And at 15:14, Vetrano tips in a point shot. Lacombe and Gudas with the assists. Then with 3:09 left, the Jets have a power play. So it's a 2-2 tie. It's a chance to get the lead. The Ducks kill it off. And then in 1935, Troy Terry scores from Vetrano to give Anaheim the upset victory, 3-2. They go to 12-14-4 with the win. The Jets 23-10-1. And this is why the Jets were in the second row of the power rankings this week. They're not much better right now either. So shots on net, 12-4 Anaheim in the first, 10-4 Anaheim in the second, 15-9 Winnipeg in the third. I understand where the Jets are in the overall standings. I get that, but they have not been playing well for some time. Really, since that ridiculous start, they have been regressing. Shots on net were 31-23 Anaheim. Power plays 1 for 4 for Winnipeg, 0 for 3 for Anaheim. The hits 26-11 for Anaheim. They were just the better team throughout most of this game. Comrie 28 saves on 31 shots. Dostal 21 saves on 23 shots. And a victory for Dostal. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.